Good morning. Organizers of Smartex, my fellow architects who have curated it, Shruti, Sushant, and many others who have helped this organization realize its dream. Partners of Smartex who have made it happen, fellow architects, members of media and others, ladies and gentlemen. I'm greatly pleased to be here. And I'm pleased to be here for three reasons. One is that this is an occasion where we would celebrate some remarkable work done by architects, and also we would see Smartex organizers and their partners recognizing their effort, their contribution. Art and architecture would never flourish without patronage. Today I recall almost 30 years ago, in 1990, JK Cement came and their marketing team to me and Mr. Sharad Das, architect of the indoor stadium, that they would like us to endorse their product. Mr. Sharad Das did not take even half a second to say no. I had to sit with them and offer them a cup of tea since they had come to our office and keep interacting with them. But the next 1 hour I spent with them led to the institution of Architect of the Year award by JK Cement. What we discussed was that what we need is patronage, not reverse thing. Architects don't need to patronize, but we need patronage. And they were sensitive enough to understand that this is something which would make them friends, which would bring material manufacturer, technology providers closer to architects so that they understand each other, so that they can do a better application of their material when the opportunity comes. I remained their professional advisor for 6-7 years. That Architect of the Year award became maybe the first national award. It spreads its wing to SAARC nations, and it has flourished in the last 30 years. Many more awards came in thereafter, some national level, some state level, but they did a fantastic job of recognizing our heroes. Their contribution is immense, and Smartex, the brand new one in the series, I welcome them, I thank them, I congratulate them to take this forward for the benefit of the society, that good work gets recognized in one way or the other. My congratulations to them. I also wish to congratulate the architects who would receive the awards. The reason is very simple there. Good architecture causes demand for more good architecture. So their contribution is not limited to themselves, that they have done good for themselves. They have done good for their client. Their client has got an identity. The place where good architecture has been created has also got an identity. Slowly, some people would say that, okay, I'm next to that building. I'm in the same street as that, what you see, that white, beautiful building. Don't worry about my address. When you reach the most beautiful building in that street, third one from there is mine. So it would give an identity. So these architects, these designers who are being honored today have fulfilled aspirations of the people, not for their clients alone, not their own aspirations, but they have caused continuous creation of good architecture. My compliments to them and my congratulations to them. But most importantly is that today we have a melting pot of technologies, melting pot where ideas, creativity, they would all interact with each other. Material manufacturers do continuous research. They keep converting science into engineering and then apply that, establish that as a technology which we creative people can integrate in our design. Reverse also happens. The architects create a situation where scientists, engineers, and technologists, they have to address that, okay, can we find a new application of the same principle of science, be it light, ventilation, comfort, safety. So a dream of an architect gets realized when he has innovative minds in the fields of science, engineering, and technology, and manufacturers who want to make a business out of that idea which comes in their mind in response to the creativity of architect. So I see them together here, and I see it as an opportunity that two can interact with each other and possibly keep thinking about something new which we can create together. So thank you, Smartex. I think this is what you have created, brought all three issues together, and this is a great service to the nation. Let me now talk about something else. Usually we architects tend to, or wish to, share with you what we have done, what we have created, what effort we have made in a given situation, what has given us and our clients some kind of pride. But let me talk about something which I could not do. I have not been able to do. I have no pictures of that, but I have a visualization of that. Almost 25 years ago, I took responsibility to get the intent of the Parliament implemented. The Architects Act was enacted in 72 with an intention that let every citizen be served by those who are qualified, those who understand a subject, those who could benefit. And that is how a human habitat would be improved with a visualization supported with the technologies which you all bring in, a proper application which would lead to comfort, safety, aesthetics, and naturally something which would inspire them. I have similar responsibility now on quality of standards. You see, this was one part, and 25 years later as chairman of NABET, National Accreditation Board for Education and Training, I have a similar responsibility to uplift or possibly bring standards of education and training to a level which would meet the aspiration of our nation. Incidentally, both were initiated by architects. Pilu Modi initiated that country be served by architects when it comes to building design and construction. And here Ratan Tata thought that quality of any service should be of some standard, though BIS talks about standards of materials and products. So the Quality Council of India was set up. So both initiated by architects, and I happen to be in my second innings dealing with that. And at both points, what I feel that there is a long way to go. Recent judgment of Supreme Court said anybody can practice architecture. You don't have to be qualified. You don't have to be trained in a particular subject. But the question is, will public be served? Is this what public deserves, or it deserves something better? When our constitution talks about right to occupation, it also says that there would be reasonable restrictions. So if it is a question of health, we must have a trained doctor. Or if it's an accountancy issue, we must have a trained accountant. And similarly, the aspiration of the Parliament when Architects Act came into being was that we all be served by those who are qualified, trained, and who could actually make an impact in improving our human habitat. But that stands, as of now, interpreted differently, and something more needs to be done. When I talk about this, it is not about law, it is not about our profession, but it is about what society deserves, what citizens of this nation deserves, where the majority of expenditure, budget, is exhausted on building construction. The largest component actually goes into that, be it any aspect of development. So this deserves a very special attention so that we get worth of every rupee we spend, and the nation's wealth is created in proportion to the investment we are making, not only in terms of money, but in terms of labor, in terms of days we are investing every day. Constitution has not talked about word architecture. There is no mention of word architecture in Constitution of India. Of course, reference to land development. But interestingly, Constituent Assembly did debate, and the reference to word architecture comes. And very interestingly, it comes in a chapter where we were talking about nomination of people to Rajya Sabha from constituencies which are not represented otherwise. So we have sports, art, film, all that, and those are nominated members of Rajya Sabha. And there, when Dr. Ambedkar proposed that science and art also be represented, there was a question why engineering is not being mentioned. So he said engineering is covered in science, and similarly art encompasses architecture. So there is a reference, there is an understanding in the parliament, but over the years it has so happened that municipal laws, other laws, practices, good practices, bad practices has led to a situation where we do not get the right kind of situation for profession to flourish on one side, on the other side that the society does not get what it deserves to get, particularly when the level of education, the spread of education has been good enough to make that happen. If this would not happen, naturally, the reasonable application of science, engineering, and technology is unlikely. If the buildings are not designed, how do I see appropriate use of advancement of science, engineering, and technology? They all have to go together. One visualizes, other one creates. They are hand in hand. So if we have to not look at only the quantitative part of whether per capita cement consumed or tiles per square meter built, whether that has reached the level of a developed nation, but if we look at an appropriate application of science, engineering, and technology, whether it is to the optimum level or it is to the required level, or it befits the ambience, and it is not a forced situation where I have no window to provide natural light to me, but I supplement it with artificial light. This is not the combination one is looking at. One is looking at that in night time I should have artificial light, at daytime I should have a daylight. And these could only be met when we all work together with a goal. So this is what I say is something which is an unfinished task, that every citizen of the nation would get what he deserves. These kind of conferences gives us opportunity to think, work towards this, whereas we all, architects can't do anything alone, nor those who are venturing into application of science into manufacturing, they would not be able to do it alone. We all have to do it together. And conference like this, I think, gives us the right kind of an opportunity to think beyond selling our own product, be it the design, if I say it as a product, or be as an air conditioner or a cement or illumination fixture as a product. But if it is applied rightly, it will definitely get multiplied. And that is what I'm looking at. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to be with you. Thanks.
Smartex.